Success is a result of consistent practice of winning skills and actions. There is nothing miraculous about the process. There is no luck involved. The magic to a great meeting is all of the work that's done beforehand. Most people have a harder time letting themselves love than finding someone to love them. I don't have very many regrets, not because I lived a perfect life, but because life is a bunch of rolling hills, not mountains, or speed bumps instead of stop signs. And so you come to a situation and it's neither good or bad, it just is, and what it means to you is what's your take on it. But the second part of the equation is what are you going to do about it? A lot of times I'm completely wrong, but all you do is back up and start over. The most important measure of how well a game I play is how well I make my teammates play. Friendship is a full-time job. Concentration and mental toughness are the margins of victory. I've been fortunate to meet and work with a lot of really smart people. The thing that strikes me most about them is how they continue to explore and learn every day. I have tried to apply that approach in my modest career as well. You can do anything you want to do if you want it bad enough. Commitment separates those who live their dreams from those who live their lives regretting the opportunities they have squandered. Durability is part of what makes a great athlete. The idea is not to block every shot. The idea is to make your opponent believe that you might block every shot. My most prized possession was my library card from the Oakland Public Library. The most important thing to me is the friends that I've made. You got to have the killer instinct. If you do not have it, forget about basketball and go into social psychology or something. If you sometimes wonder if you've got it, you ain't got it. No pussycats, please. To love someone is nothing. To be loved by someone is something. To love someone who loves you is everything. Don't knock the ball in the stands. Keep it in your hands. We learn to make a shell for ourselves when we are young and then spend the rest of our lives hoping for someone to reach inside and touch us. Just touch USA Euro. Anything more than that would be too much for us to bear. What distinguishes a great player is his presence. When he goes onto the court, his presence dominates the atmosphere. After I played him for the first time, I said, "Let's see. He's 4 or 5 inches taller. He's 40 or 50 pounds heavier. His vertical leap is at least as good as mine. He can get up and down the floor as well as I can. And he's smart. The real problem with all this is I have to show up." I think what has happened to our basketball team, we've been badly distracted. They're not reading too many positive things in the paper. The morale and the camaraderie that we had for one another earlier in the year is starting to come under duress because of all the losses. Some of the guys are feeling the pressure now from the last year when they were not successful. People say it was the greatest individual rivalry they've ever seen. I agree with that. Let me assure you that if either Wilt's or Russ' coach had ever told one of them he couldn't guard the other guy, he would have lost that player forever. I think that David Stern is probably the greatest commissioner that any sport has ever had in the history of this country. We couldn't sustain it. And they got a lot of kids that can shoot. We just couldn't close out well enough. Create unselfishness is the most important team attribute. The last 5 or 6 days, I've been running. The last 2 days, I've been running pretty hard. Everybody's got to be someplace. Learning is a daily experience and a lifetime mission. I truly believe in the saying, we work to become, not to acquire. If you really have integrity, there are very few people who can insult you or honor you. What's more important than who's going to be the first black manager is who's going to be the first black sports editor of the New York Times. I hope I epitomize the American dream. For I came against long odds, from the ghetto to the very top of my profession. I was not immediately good at basketball. It did not come easy. It came as the result of a lot of hard work and self-sacrifice. The rewards, were they worth it? 1,000 times over. A rebounder, or a shot blocker for that matter, is always at a disadvantage if he tells himself the only way he can succeed is by out-jumping the guy next to him. Sometimes he will have to, but most of the time he will not. Most of my rebounds came from positioning, where I was able to get the ball while in heavy traffic. Remember that basketball is a game of habits. If you make the other guy deviate from his habits, you've got him. We overreached our decision power. Sometimes our decisions have to fit the reality of the outside world. On females officiating in the NBA, incompetence should not be confined to one sex. If Shakespeare can compare all of life to a stage, maybe it's not odd to believe that part of the play can take place on a basketball court. My father once told me that anyone who worked for $3 an hour owed it to himself to put in $4 worth of work. Heart in Champions has to do with the depth of our motivation and how well your mind and body react to pressure. That is, being able to do what you do best under maximum pain and stress. The only important statistic is the final score. To me, the most important part of winning is joy. You can win without joy, but winning that is joyless is like eating in a 4-star restaurant when you are not hungry. Joy is a current of energy in your body, like chlorophyll or sunlight. that fills you up and makes you naturally want to do your best.